If you think you missed out on gold's historic rise in 2024, think again. Because today, I'm sitting down with a man who just might be the greatest gold trader ever. His name is Jeff Clark. And as you will see in the next few minutes, whether you think you've missed out on a golden window of opportunity or not, Jeff claims you could continue to profit from gold through 2025 and beyond. Because his strategy is all about using one stock, just one, to profit from gold over and over again, whether it's going up or down. Using this one gold stock, Jeff has shown his followers gains of 85% in 14 days, 176% in 5 weeks, 41% in 2 weeks, 120% in under 3 months, 138% in 8 days, 186% in 8 days, and even 222% in 8 days. This single stock strategy is one Jeff has been using for over 40 years. When he was a money manager, he used this exact strategy for his clients, and it was so successful, he was able to grow his firm to over $200 million in assets under management, allowing him to retire by the age of 42. But despite this strategy handing him all the financial freedom he could want, Jeff did not choose to sit idly by. Instead, he decided to share his secret with the world. Nearly 20 years ago, he began teaching folks from all walks of life, not just the ultra-wealthy, how to use this strategy too. And now, after watching gold hit historic levels, Jeff is revealing how you can use one single stock to profit from this asset class over and over again. He'll tell you the name of his number one stock, its ticker symbol, and how it's possible to repeatedly profit from it, all in the next few minutes. First, Jeff Clark, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Adam. It's great to be here.
Well, Jeff, I want to cut right to the chase. Using one single stock to profit from gold over and over again, I mean, it sounds impossible, downright ridiculous, actually. So, I mean, is it really possible?
It is possible, Adam. And trust me, I know it sounds crazy. It probably sounds too simple to work. But when you have conditions like we're seeing today, with the way the gold market is shaping up, plus the one specific stock that I'll show you in a minute, this strategy could be a complete game changer for everyone watching today.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, it does sound too simple, Jeff. I'm thinking it can't be this simple to profit from gold. I mean, gold spiked to all-time highs recently, with many experts predicting it could easily soar past 5,000 an ounce. So I'm wondering, as I'm sure anyone who's interested in gold is wondering, what do I do? I mean, can I still profit from this historic move, or did I already miss out on the biggest gains? And if not, should I buy physical gold, coins, gold mining stocks, what?
None of that.
None of them at all?
No, well, to be fair, I think everyone ought to own physical gold. I mean, no matter what the market conditions. But when it comes to making money from gold right now, I'm focused on one thing: simplicity. And that means focusing on one single stock and getting in and out fast. I mean, this is exactly what my one stock gold strategy is all about, and exactly what every other strategy is not about. So right now, forget those other strategies. Don't worry about which gold stocks to buy or how to buy gold or even whether or not you've missed out on a new gold bull market. Because my strategy is simple. It focuses on one single stock to get in and out fast, whether gold is moving up or down.
It does appear that way, Jeff, based on your track record, because you recommended this strategy on this exact gold stock many times to your readers over the last few years, and it's done well time and time again. In fact, you recommended trades on this one stock to your readers 37 times since 2019, handing them the chance to profit on 2/3 of those trades. Not to mention, you were in and out of all those trades in under a month on average. That kind of performance, that is exactly why I said you might be the best gold trader ever.
Well, I mean, that's the power of this one gold stock strategy. I mean, it has the potential to help you profit from big moves in the gold market quickly and by using just one single stock. And keep in mind, Adam, these gains were before we saw gold hit historic highs in 2024. Now, while nothing in the investing world is ever guaranteed, I predict that the potential profits from this strategy could be even greater from here on out.
Why is that, Jeff?
Well, specifically, I'm expecting a major shakeup in the gold market on January 28th of 2025. And on that day, a big event is taking place, one that could send shockwaves across the gold market.
Well, that's right around the corner, so I definitely need to hear more about this event. But let's put a pin in that for a minute, Jeff, and back up just a little bit because first, I'd like to take a closer look at how this strategy actually works. What makes it so simple? What makes it so potentially profitable? And what is this one gold stock you've used to hand your readers a shot at outsized gains like this?
Well, sure thing. I'll explain everything in full because this is a strategy that I think everyone should be using in this market right now. And like I said, this strategy is all about keeping things simple by focusing on one gold stock and trying to profit from it quickly. No scouring the market of all the different gold stocks. No watching your money get whipsawed up and down for months and months at a time, or waiting years and years to maybe come out ahead. And no worrying whether or not you've missed out on a new gold bull market. Because with this strategy, there's always an opportunity to profit, as you'll see. Now, let me walk you through an example to show you how it works. Back in 2023, on May 30th, I recommended a trade on this exact gold stock that we're talking about. And in just 2 days, my readers had a chance to cash out with 55% gains. And like you mentioned earlier, Adam, when I recommended that trade, you could have done any number of things to try and profit. I mean, you could have bought gold itself, bought gold coins, maybe invested in some gold ETF or a little-known gold miner. And there's a whole lot of choices. In fact, there are about 47 different gold stocks on the market. And when it comes to physical gold, I mean, where do you even start? I mean, coins, there's at least 36 different major types of gold coins in the US alone. But you'd want to figure out which grade to buy, the purity levels, the weight, the year, all that sort of stuff, you name it. Plus, when it comes to trading in the gold markets, it's important to try to figure out why gold is moving. Gold isn't some meme stock, right, that people toy around with. It's a hard, physical commodity. It's an actual store of value. So when it makes big moves, it means something is happening in the world somewhere to make someone start buying. Are they buying it to hedge against some potential loss? Is it because of global uncertainty? Are other countries' central banks buying it up in large amounts? I mean, there's so many possibilities. Figuring all this out might be worth the effort in the long run, but it's certainly not simple, not like my strategy. Because remember, my strategy, it's all about simplicity, which means focusing on this one single stock and getting in and out as quickly as I can.
Well, and it seems to really work out. I mean, like the trade recommendation that you just mentioned, you focused on this one single stock, and in 2 days, your readers could have seen 55% gains.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I kept it simple with this one stock, and my readers could have made more money faster than they would have with any of the other strategies. I mean, to show you what I mean, over that exact same time, over those 2 days, where my readers could have seen 55% gains, gold itself rose about 1%, just 1% compared to 55%. That's 55 times higher than gold itself. In fact, if you wanted to see 55% gains from gold, and you bought it when I recommended this trade, well, you'd still be waiting to see those gains.
Wow, you're right, Jeff. That is much simpler and a lot faster than buying gold outright.
Exactly, and I can do it over and over again with this strategy. For instance, I recommended a trade on this one stock again back on June 21st of 2023. And in 21 days, just 3 weeks, my readers had the shot at 42% gains.
And what was gold itself doing at this time?
Not much. I mean, again, it was a little over 1% in that same exact time.
So 42% with your strategy or 1% buying gold itself, I think it's pretty easy to see which gain anyone would prefer.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. To be fair to gold, though, I mean, it's meant to be bought and held, not traded quickly like this. But like I said, even if you bought and held onto gold, you still wouldn't have seen gains that high. Unless there's something major happening. Big moves in gold, like we've seen recently, they're rare, and they take a long time to materialize. But the goal of using my strategy is different, to focus on one stock, aim for big gains in a shorter amount of time than you ever thought possible. To keep it simple.
Now, Jeff, I know that you're going to tell everyone watching the ticker symbol of this stock today. But first, what makes this work so well anyway? I mean, how is it possible to see such big gains while gold barely moves?
Well, that's also simple. It's chaos. My strategy itself works best when things are chaotic, which is why it pairs so perfectly with gold right now. I mean, look, We're seeing multiple wars across the globe, in Ukraine, Russia, in the Middle East. We're also seeing chaos in our own country. Even though the presidential election is finally over, the political divide is still wider than ever before. I mean, we still have historic levels of debt, money printing, you name it. All of these factors could be causing investors to flock to gold in record numbers. As I said, gold can move for many different reasons. And with how much is going on right now, I don't see gold slowing down anytime soon. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, of course, but if there's one thing you can always count on, it's uncertainty. And while I believe gold is going to go up over the long term, gold, like all investments, never goes up in a straight line, right? These are all very chaotic, unpredictable factors. So it stands to reason it's always going to be a very bumpy and chaotic ride for gold. I mean, just look at what happened with gold recently to see what I mean. You see all those ups and downs? That's total chaos. Gold hit an all-time high in 2024, but then it came right back down to earth after the US presidential election. And you really just never know what could happen. But that's perfect for my strategy. Every crazy bit of movement you see, I see dollar signs. Even the big crashes, you see.
Yeah, well, now, why is that, Jeff? I mean, what is this strategy exactly?
Well, Adam, my strategy is all about trading options. And I know people might get put off by the term options, but I started trading options when I was 19, and I haven't stopped since. Options are almost exclusively how I've made money throughout my career, for me and my former clients. And they're the main reason I was able to retire so early, which is why teaching folks how to trade them right now is my number one focus. And the biggest reason I love them so much is simple. Options thrive on movement. If there's only one thing everyone should know about options today, just know this. When it comes to options, movement equals money. And that's the best part about that. Even the smallest bit of movement in a stock could lead to huge move in options. And this is the reason why you can make so much more money with options than you can with stocks. To show you an example, that number one gold stock that I'm focused on right now, well, I recommended it to my readers back on March 31st of 2021. And in 36 days, just a little over 1 month, the stock itself moved 13%. Now, of course, that's not a bad gain for a stock in 1 month. But the options trade I recommended, it soared 176% in the same amount of time. Now, that's about 13 times higher than the return you'd see with the stock. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it?
Jeff, absolutely incredible. So in just 36 days, you could have made 13% trading the stock or 176% trading the option that you recommended. I think it's easy to see which way people would rather trade.
Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. And this is the biggest reason that I love trading options. Movement equals money. And if a stock moves even just a little bit, it could send its options contracts soaring.
What if the stock or gold moves down, Jeff? I mean, you said that you see dollar signs in those big crashes too, right?
Well, like I said, if you understand anything about options today, understand that movement equals money. And that means any movement, up or down. It equals money when it comes to options trading. And to show you what I mean, here's another example. On May 22nd of 2020, I recommended a different kind of options trade on this gold stock, one that goes up when the underlying stock goes down. And in just 14 days, 2 weeks, my readers had the chance to lock in 85% gains. At the same time, gold itself dropped over 3%. And the number one gold stock that I've been talking about, it also cratered during that time. It crashed over 8%. Yet by using options, I was able to lead my readers to 85% gains in those 2 weeks. 85% gains while gold and this stock crashed. That's why I love options so much. Movement in any direction equals money.
Well, those are truly incredible gains, Jeff. I mean, when it comes to options, movement equals money. Yes, I get it, whether that's up or down. So even if a stock or gold crashes, you still have the potential to make money. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's that simple. And it's also why I'm so excited about gold right now, because we've been seeing a lot more movement with gold than we've seen in a long time. Remember, all the ups and downs, all the chaos that I showed you earlier. This is why I say when I see those ups and downs, I see dollar signs.
Well, I think I'm starting to see them too, Jeff.
Well, that's great. Now, of course, those gains are all in the past, and while I would never promise anyone that they'd continue to see gains like this in the future, one thing is for certain. Gold will continue to move one way or the other. And like everything else, it will constantly be going up and down. And as I said, when it comes to my strategy, movement equals money. And right now, we're still seeing a lot of movement with gold. But very soon, I believe we're going to see even bigger moves in gold than we've seen so far, meaning even bigger options trading opportunities and potentially bigger gains. Because on Wednesday, January 28th, an event is taking place that I believe could shock the price of gold in a major way. And to be clear, this event is happening. It's scheduled, it's on the books, 100% guaranteed to occur. And I believe when it does, gold could make a major move, which could lead to huge gains if you follow this one stock strategy.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about this upcoming event, Jeff. And of course, these big options gains sound great. But I've always heard options can be complex and difficult. And now you're saying the opposite. So which is it?
Well, like I said, options allow me to keep things simple. But make no mistake, options themselves are complex financial instruments. That's a fact. And because they can be so sensitive to the movement of the underlying stock, by their nature, they can move on you fast. So making money with options, it's not easy, but that doesn't mean it can't be simple.
Simple, not easy. What's the difference between those, Jeff?
You see, stocks can have many different options contracts available for them on any given day, meaning each individual stock has many different opportunities to potentially profit from its movement. And this gives me the ability to focus on one stock at a time and trade it over and over again for hopefully big profits. And that's what I mean by keeping it simple, which is why I've been able to hand my readers so many incredible wins from this one stock alone. I'm able to focus on this one stock and trade options on it over and over again. And this allows me to truly specialize in one sector, one stock at a time. This kind of laser-focused specialization is one of the key components to becoming very wealthy or even seeing success with anything. I mean, have you ever heard of the Pareto principle?
Yeah, that's the 80-20 rule, right?
The very same. It comes from an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto. The story you usually hear about him is that he had a little garden at home where he grew pea pods. And what Pareto noticed was that a great majority of the peas he ended up with, around 80% of them, came from only a small fraction, just 20% of the pods. And just that small 20% narrow area of pea pods made up 80% of the yield. Now imagine what his output would be if he focused on just that small 20%. See, that's the benefit of specialization, focusing on a small area that hands you big results. And we see the proof of this all over the place. For instance, as it turns out, 80% of the money in Warren Buffett's portfolio comes from just 7 stocks. While Berkshire Hathaway owns around 47 different stocks, just 7 of them make up most of the money in that portfolio. And look at Bill Gross. He's known as the bond king because all he did was focus on trading bonds throughout his entire career. And by focusing on this one area of investing, his firm amassed nearly $500 billion at one point. This is the benefit of specializing in one single stock or sector at a time. Specializing like this allows you to really understand a specific stock or sector intimately. And after a while, you start to pick up on specific patterns or the way certain assets move more than you normally would. And this is why this strategy has the potential to be so profitable. And this is why I love options so much. They allow me to zero in on one stock at a time and trade it over and over again for big potential gains. For example, Adam, back in 2019, I saw a lot of movement around a company called Applied Optoelectronics. The ticker symbol for that is AAOI. And on June 21st, 2019, I recommended an options trade on this one stock. And in just under 3 months, my readers could have seen gains of 95%. And a short time later, on August 16th, I recommended another trade on this same stock. And in a little over 1 month, my readers saw 28% gains. I even recommended 2 more trades on this stock that same year, one for 35% gains in under 3 months, and the other for 21% gains in about 3 weeks. Now, my point is, if I see a lot of movement happening in one stock or one sector, I can focus heavily on that one stock and trade it over and over again for big potential gains thanks to options. And another stock that I focused on multiple times over the past few years is XLF. It's a fund made up of some of the biggest financial sector stocks. And on April 1st, 2020, I recommended an options trade on XLF. In just 8 days, my readers could have cashed out with 106% gains. A few months later, on September 18th, I recommended another trade on XLF. And in only 2 months, my readers could have seen 114% gains. See, that's the power of focusing on one stock at a time and trading options on it over and over again.
So just to recap, options allow you to make big money from even the smallest underlying stock moves. And they allow you to be a specialist to focus on one stock at a time to keep it simple.
Exactly. And because of what's going on with gold and the big moves that I see coming, I'm focused solely on gold right now. Specifically, this one gold stock that I've been telling you about.
I know that you will tell everyone at home what that stock is in just a minute, Jeff. But again, I've always heard that options are much riskier than stocks. And I see that they give you the power to focus on one stock at a time to keep things simple. And I can see how big the gains can be compared to stocks. But are they more risky?
Well, to be honest, no. I mean, they're not more risky than stocks. As somebody who's been specializing in options since I was 19 years old, I think the extreme riskiness of options is way overblown. In fact, Adam, in many cases, and really the way that I trade them, they can be less risky than stocks. Now, don't get me wrong, all investments carry risk, and I'm never going to tell you to invest in anything with money that you can't afford to lose. Put simply, don't go investing with the rent money or the mortgage or the grocery money, right? But this is another reason that I love options so much, because options, in many cases, can be much cheaper than stocks, and while giving you the shot at much higher gains, as you've seen. So let me give you another example. I recommended an options trade on my number one gold stock back on December 11th of 2023. And in just about 8 days, my readers had the chance to see gains of 138%, while at the same time, the stock itself only moved 6%. That's 23 times higher gains in the same amount of time. Now, bear with me for a moment as we do a little bit of math here, just to put this into context. Imagine you put $1,000 into the underlying stock when I recommended it. In those 8 days, that 6% gain would have handed you $60 in profits. Now imagine you put just 1/10 of that amount into the options trade instead. Say you invested only $100. In those same 8 days, you'd be looking at $138 in profit. That's more than double the profits with 1/10 of the money you'd put at risk. So when I hear options are risky, I ask you, would you rather bet $100 to win $6 or $10 to win 20?
Wow, I see what you mean, Jeff. I mean, because the gains can be so high, you can put up less money and still come out ahead. You're able to have less money at risk in each trade than you normally would with stocks.
Exactly. See, that's why I say that in many cases, options can be less risky than stock, not more risky.
All right, so just to get this straight, since we have covered a lot, when it comes to options, movement equals money. You can keep it simple, and you can risk far less money than you normally would with stocks while potentially earning higher rewards. I definitely see why you love options so much, Jeff. With that said, what is this number one gold stock that you are so laser focused on right now?
Well, you did sum it up perfectly, Adam. So this gold stock, this ticker symbol is GDX. It's the Van Eck Gold Miners Exchange Traded Fund. Basically, it's a huge basket of some of the largest gold mining companies in the world. And this, hands down, is my favorite gold stock to trade. It might be my favorite stock to trade in general.
Well, and your track record on this one stock alone really proves that, Jeff. It's certainly the stock you've recommended the most. I mean, with this one stock, you've gone 24 for 37 since 2019, about a 65% win rate for this stock alone. That's a winning trade nearly 2/3 of the time, with 6 trades that have gone up over 100%. Jeff, that's truly an incredible feat.
Well, thank you, Adam. I mean, that's the power of this one stock strategy and the raw power of trading options.
Okay, so just to give everyone at home a better idea of how this works, could you walk through some of these big GDX wins real quick?
Oh, sure. Like I said, I use this strategy because options thrive on movement, because I can keep it simple with this one stock, and because options can be much cheaper than stocks. So let's look at my GDX recommendation from May of 2019. At this time, I believed gold was about to make a huge move, and for me, movement equals money. But instead of trying to buy gold itself, like bullion or coins or anything else, and instead of spending hours and days hunting down some specific gold miner, I zeroed in on this one stock that I knew intimately, GDX. Simple. After I recommended it on May 16th, GDX moved 13% over the next month, but the options trade I recommended soared 195% in the same amount of time. So tell me, would you rather make 13% or 195% in 1 month?
Well, I think that's a pretty easy choice there, Jeff.
And that's why I love options. I mean, you can keep it simple by focusing on one stock at a time, you can put less money at risk, and you can make far more than you would by trading the stock. Here's another example. On February 20th of 2020, I believed GDX was about to make a big move again. This was right around when COVID-19 was first spreading, which is why this time I believe GDX was headed down along with everything else. And remember, any kind of movement equals money, up or down. So I recommended an options trade to take advantage of this move. And in only 8 days, just about 1 week, my readers had the chance to lock in 186% gains, while at the same time, GDX plummeted 11%. And more recently, in early 2024, I believed GDX would make a big move up. So I recommended a trade on February 27th. And just 8 days later, GDX jumped over 12%. But the options I recommended soared 222%. That's more than triple your money in only 8 days. See, that's the power of this one stock gold strategy. It's a strategy that I believe everyone should use right now more than ever.
Well, which is why you've put together something to share with everyone at home right now. Isn't that right, Jeff? So they can get started right away?
That's right. It's a special guide detailing this one stock gold strategy in full. It's called the One Gold Stock Retirement Blueprint. Now look, I've given you my number one gold stock, GDX, and I'm not holding anything back here. You can go out and trade it all on your own if you'd like. You can even just buy and hold it if you wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend that, and here's why. While GDX is my favorite gold stock to trade, since the fund was first created back in 2006, GDX hasn't gone anywhere. I mean, it's not a buy and hold type of stock. Now, gold certainly is, of course, so if you're just looking to sock money away in gold, that's fine. I recommend everyone should have at least some money in gold. But take a look at all that movement in GDX along the way. If you learned anything from me today, that chart should look very different to you now. See all those ups and downs again? Are they starting to look like dollar signs to you yet? Because as you've learned, movement equals money. And while those movements are all in the past, if you'd like to truly discover how to potentially turn any future big movements into money, I highly recommend you get your hands on the One Gold Stock Retirement Blueprint. Inside this report, I've laid out my strategy in full. You'll see everything I've learned from trading options on GDX over the years, how I'm able to detect big moves happening in the gold markets, all the indicators that I use to identify big moves, a step-by-step guide of how to place options trades on this stock, and details around the major event coming for gold. This is something I believe everyone should start doing ASAP, because all those great gains that I've shown my readers so far could pale in comparison to what's coming.
Well, now I know that you'll show everyone how to get their hands on this report in just a minute, Jeff. But this event you mentioned, could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Certainly, because on Wednesday, January 28th, we could see a major shock to the gold price. I'm expecting it to make a huge move in either direction. And remember, any movement, up or down, equals money with my strategy. So here's what's happening. On that day, the Federal Reserve is meeting to discuss economic and financial conditions, make forecasts, and more importantly, decide what to do about interest rates, or the rate that they charge to places like the U.S. Treasury to borrow money. They could cut, hold steady, or raise interest rates. And either one of these outcomes typically has an effect on the stock market. Usually, if they cut rates, stocks go up. If they raise rates, stocks go down. But of course, when the stock market goes up or down, that money has to come from or go somewhere. If stocks go up, it means people either move money from savings or safe havens, like gold, and into stocks. And if stocks go down, people could be moving their money from stocks and into savings or safe havens like gold. Which is why around these big Fed meetings, gold prices can really start to move. I mean, there's no saying for certain whether this next meeting is going to send gold up or down, but as you've seen again and again, when it comes to my strategy, movement equals money. So as I expect a big move either up or down for gold very soon. If you follow this strategy, you could see huge gains, which is why I want to invite you to join me and discover this strategy today. I want to send you the One Gold Stock Retirement Blueprint ASAP. But what's more, I want to make sure you get my next most urgent options trade recommendations as soon as I send them out.
Wow, I can see how this event is so important and why it's so urgent right now. So, for everyone at home, Jeff is the founder and editor-in-chief of a truly one-of-a-kind financial publication. It's called Jeff Clark Trader. This is Jeff's flagship options trading service that he's been running since 2019. It's all about teaching readers how to use the extreme profit potential of options to trade one stock over and over for huge results. Over the years, Jeff Clark Trader has led readers to gains from GDX of 85% in 14 days, 120% in under 3 months, and even 222% in 8 days. And gains from many other stocks he's focused on, like AAOI and XLF, with gains of 21% in 3 weeks, 35% in under 3 months, 95% in under 3 months, 114% in 2 months, and even 106% in 8 days. Now, all investments carry risk. These are some of Jeff's best recommendations. Not all investments will be successful. And now, Jeff is inviting you to join him in Jeff Clark Trader through a special offer he's prepared for you today. And when you do, you'll have access to his newest options recommendations and research. Plus, you'll also get access to Jeff's One Gold Stock Retirement Blueprint immediately as a free bonus for subscribing.
Thanks, Adam. I am proud of that record. And yeah, like I said, I think this strategy is something that everyone should be using right now. So I want to make sure no one misses out on my next recommendation, which is why I prepared a special offer to join Jeff Clark Trader today. This is a service I honestly do take an immense amount of pride in. Like I said, I retired from trading for my clients when I was 42 years old. But that didn't mean I stopped trading for myself. As a trader, you have to abide by certain rules, know when to take profits and when to cut losses. I saw firsthand fellow retired traders start to slip and lose their discipline. So to make sure that that didn't happen to me, instead of simply trading on my own and possibly getting careless, I started to publicly recommend specific trades, not only to help people make money, but to also keep myself accountable. If I go on record publicly with a trade, it's out there. Everyone can see it, so if one of my recommendations does poorly, everyone's going to know. And this is what keeps me fully accountable, disciplined, and truly what gives me the ability to recommend such great trades to my readers. This is what I take pride in. And now I'm inviting you to come along for the ride and potentially make a lot of money in the process.
With that said, here's how Jeff Clark Trader works. On average, Jeff will send out 1 to 2 recommendations each month. That's anywhere from 12 to 24 new recommendations each year, possibly even more. Now, each of those recommendations will come with Jeff's full insight into why he's making it, the indicators he uses to identify the trade, the exact options to trade, and exactly how to place those specific trades. As you've seen, these trades can take anywhere from 2 days to 3 months to play out. This way, you don't have to have any investment capital tied up too long. Along the way, Jeff will constantly update you on the status of these trades, including when to buy and take profits, or if you need to get out and cut your losses.
Yes, I try to cover all my bases for my readers. And I'd just like to say, while no one can ever eliminate all risk when it comes to investing, I put a lot of care and effort into identifying and recommending these trades. And in all honesty, whenever I'm about to hit the send button on a new alert, I think of my 83-year-old mother and I ask, am I confident enough in this trade that I'd recommend it to my own mother? And if the answer is yes, it's on. If it's a no, I delete it. And I've done that many times before. I would never send my readers a recommendation that I wouldn't feel comfortable enough sending to my own mother. And that's the kind of service that you're going to get with Jeff Clark Trader. And when you join me today, you'll start getting these recommendations right in your inbox, along with up-to-the-minute buy and sell alerts and important updates. Plus, if you take advantage of the special offer that I've arranged for you today, I'll send you the One Gold Stock Retirement Blueprint as soon as you sign up. But because I understand that most folks have never tried options trading before, or they might still be confused about them, I put together something else for anyone who takes me up on my invitation today. My Options Trading Masterclass.
Now, many people don't know this, Jeff, but in addition to trading, another one of your passions is teaching, right? I mean, at one point, you were hired by a California university to teach options trading to MBA students. And when you ran your options trading firm, you also trained over 1,000 people to become licensed stockbrokers, some of whom ended up working for firms like Merrill Lynch or Payne Weber.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't like to boast very often, but there are 2 things that I'm confident I can do better than anyone else: making money with options and teaching others how to make money with options. So for anyone who's unfamiliar with options or just getting started, or even just wants to learn more about trading, I've prepared this 8-part video training series to help you do just that. To my knowledge, you're not going to find this kind of education anywhere else. In these videos, you'll discover how to make money in bull and bear markets, the basics of options, all about managing risk, exactly when to know whether you should buy or sell, how options can be cheaper and less risky than stocks in many cases, my top indicators I use in identifying opportunities in any stock or market, and much more.
Well, I'm sure that video series will help anyone get started with options. So just to recap, once you join Jeff Clark Trader today, you'll get access to Jeff's monthly research and recommendations, along with ongoing trade alerts and updates, plus the One Gold Stock Retirement Blueprint and Jeff's 8-part video series, Options Trading Masterclass. Now, normally, the retail price for Jeff Clark Trader is $499 for a full year. Considering the profit potential in Jeff's recommendations, the Gold Stock Trading Guide, the 8-part Options Trading Video Masterclass, and the constant ongoing alerts and updates, $499 for a full year is a deal by itself. But Jeff, you mentioned you have an even better deal prepared for everyone watching today. Is that right?
Yes, and I'm doing this for 2 reasons. First of all, it's because you've taken the time to view this presentation, because you've taken the time to discover a new strategy that could really change your financial outlook. This shows me that anyone who's paying attention right now is truly a good fit for Jeff Clark Trader. And I don't want price to be a barrier to that. And the second reason is because of the urgent situation that I see with gold. We're seeing more action in gold now than we've seen in quite a while. And because of the potential shock coming to the gold market around Wednesday, January 28th, I don't want anyone to miss out on what's to come. This is why I'm slashing the subscription price for Jeff Clark Trader for anyone watching today, which means through this offer, right now, you won't pay anywhere near $499 for a full year. Today, you can subscribe for just $99 for an entire year. That's less than 30 cents per day. You should see a link pop up below this video. If you click that big Subscribe Now button, you'll be taken to a secure cart page where you'll see the full details of the special offer that I've arranged for you today.
Jeff, that's fantastic. So because you have taken the time to view this presentation, and because of the current situation with gold, you'll get ongoing monthly recommendations, urgent trade alerts, the One Gold Stock Retirement Blueprint, and Jeff's 8-part video series, the Options Trading Masterclass, not for $499, but for far less. Remember, today you can subscribe for just $99 for an entire year.
Oh, but there is one last thing that I want to mention. I want to make sure that everyone who sticks around for Jeff Clark Trader is satisfied. So when you sign up today, you'll have a full 90 days, solid 3 months, to take this service for a test drive. And at any point during that period, during those first 3 months, if you decide you don't like what you're getting, just call us up to cancel your subscription, and we'll refund every penny that you pay today.
So, in addition to everything you get when you sign up today, you'll also have 3 full months to decide if Jeff Clark Trader is right for you. And if there's anything that you don't like, you can get a full refund in those first 3 months. You truly have nothing to lose giving Jeff Clark Trader a try today. Just click on the link below to see the full details of this offer right now. And with that, Jeff has done everything he can for you today. Now the choice is up to you. He's told you all about his one stock gold strategy, including the name and ticker symbol of his #1 gold stock. From here, you can go to it alone and try to trade this stock or its options on your own. Figure out all the ins and outs of options trading by yourself. Try to time exactly when to get in or out of the trades, or you can join Jeff Clark Trader today and discover everything you need to know from one of the best options traders out there. With Jeff by your side, you'll never have to doubt any trades you make, never have to stress over when to get in and get out, never have to spend hours hunting down the best opportunities. You will get everything essentially done for you, made as simple as possible. With that said, I think the choice is easy. Click the link below to join Jeff Clark Trader today. On the next page, you'll see the full details of the offer Jeff has prepared, including the huge discount he's arranged for you on your behalf. My name is Adam Johnson. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us for this presentation today. And Jeff Clark, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Adam. And thanks to everyone watching for your time. I hope you'll join me in Jeff Clark Trader today.